see that I only have at the bottom 180 kilometers, which is just over 100 miles. I just got this in December 13th, 2018. Today is January 5th, 2019. Didn't do anything yet on the car, but the cold air intake I received last week, so I'm gonna install it this coming week. And I turn off the music because it's copyrighted, right? You cannot show it. But it has a satellite subscription. And yesterday I got a message saying that a new software, Uconnect, this is called Uconnect, is available. And it says the car must be in park for 40 minutes. Like, you want to do it now? I said no. And then it says, would you like to schedule the update? And I have no idea how it's, like, basically it has its own internet. Like, I know it has a Wi-Fi over here. See, Wi-Fi hotspot, but I'm not signed up for that. For that you need to sign up. But it was very cool. So I showed, I left the car, I took the car out of gear for the night. Like usually I leave it in gear, and I set the parking brake, and I scheduled the update for 7:30 in the morning, and I was sleeping till like 8. And so I come down, start the car, and the first thing I see is the message on this beautiful screen. It says your Uconnect app was updated. Please click here, you know, to kind of like accept the terms and stuff like that. And the first thing I saw was something that I complained before about, the controls. Like, you see this? Each time you start the car, automatically, before I would get the heated seats like this and the heated wheel, and that's fine, especially, you know, I'm in Canada, so it's cold. But you always have to turn it off because it gets hot. Like, it was always on high, you know, like, yeah, on high, like this. And basically, you know, it gets uncomfortable after a while, right? And there was no way to turn it off. Each time you you turn it off, and then you start the car, and it just starts by itself. But then now with I checked this, like before, you see the settings, before there was nothing here, but now they added this auto on comfort, and this was like this with vehicle start, and that's when that heating steering wheel and heated seat will automatically apply, and then you have to turn it off each time, you know. So basically I cancel this, and that's it. So now my I'm just using auto climate control. You see that's Celsius. That's probably what, like 72, 75 F, and I can adjust it over here. Just click this red or go down. You see it goes up, down, and I just left it in like, that's very nice temperature, 21.5. And well, let's see apps. Let's see, I wanted to start the, no, I don't want this. What do I want? I want to do a POV driving. Oh, performance pages. And I want to see what we have here. If there's something that I can start, that, because it's a big screen, right? Like, I don't want this power, G-force. No, that's okay. Timers, that's all, temperature, G-force. Oh, it has acceleration. Wow, maybe I should leave that. What is this? Engine, torque. Oh, torque is over here, pounds per foot, but it's too small, you know. I want something where when I start driving, so that it start, oh wow, can give you the dyno. This is so cool. No, I never had this on any car that I had. So okay, what shall we leave it at when I start driving? timers. See timers. Okay, ready. Current is 160. What is that? I don't know what it is. I'll have to read up on this. But oil pressure, voltage. Well, there's only one page. G-force. Maybe we'll leave it on G-force. I don't know. Steering angle. Engine. Oil pressure. You see, you cannot choose one or the other. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it on G-force, you know, just out of curiosity. See what's happening, because it'll show acceleration at the bottom here. I don't know if it's going to be seen or not, but so we warm, so we can start driving. We're gonna use this headset, and then I'm gonna use my Nikon. Take some pictures and include them in the video. But just wanted to mention something I learned, because I never had a Dodge Challenger before, and if you're not familiar with this car, whenever you buy a Challenger with a big engine or a V8, everything gets compared to Hellcat or Demon. Because there's always a better car, there's always a faster car in the same lineup, right? And Hellcat, of course, has a 6.2 liter supercharged V8, whereas mine has a 6.4 liter naturally aspirated engine, and I love this. There's so much torque. But the first thing most people do is they upgrade the intake, the factory air intake. And turns out that there's two ways to do that, like how to get more air in the engine. And of course, then you need to either reset just disconnect the battery. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not using any tuners yet, but you can still make the computer recognize the higher flow of air, basically by disconnecting the battery, you know, for half an hour when they're installing it. Or you can use a tuner, right, which is a preferred way, but you know, it costs money, and I'm only starting the upgrades, and so I'll get a tuner when I get everything, like the intake, the exhaust, like maybe some other things, you know. But so yeah, there's two ways to improve the airflow, and turns out that the factory airbox from the Hellcat version of this car fits this RT ScatPack 392, because, and the reason people do that, the reason people use a Hellcat factory box is because the bottom is the same, but the top like has a much bigger kind of like opening, you know, and so it uses the same. And also you can use the filter from Hellcat, air filter, and people were doing videos on YouTube comparing the airflow, and the filter from Hellcat lets much more air in, even the same type, you know, not K&N. It's still like one-time filter that you have to throw out after, but it's like $22 US. You can buy it online, you know, and that's one way. And also that on Hellcat, the airbox has a additional intake through the headlight, you know, like this car has 4 headlights, right, like 4, and what they do is on the driver's side they take out the headlight, the one closer to the middle, and that serves as an additional intake for the air. And basically, so that's option one. You can buy that factory airbox from the Hellcat, but then you have to modify your headlight, and I don't want to do that. So that's one way. And the other way is to just get cold air intake. And the problem with these is that a lot of cheap ones, they just sit in the engine compartment and they get all hot air in, and actually you lose power. So the trick is to use a you know, quality intake that at least that protects the filter. And I went with a brand I'm familiar with. It's called Air Raid. I used them on my previous when I had a Dodge Ram 1500. I used that one, and I like that the filter is very big, so it gets in lots of air, and also it's protected. It has its own air box, so which replaces the factory box, and so this way I don't have to, and it still gets air from the fender like the factory one, but the top is open, but there's a screen that protects the filter from the hot air inside the engine bay. And the last but not least feature about Air Raid I like is that it's a dry filter. It's a multi-use filter, so it's a washable filter, and also, but the best thing is that it's dry. Like, I really don't like these oiled filters because it's a mess, you know, to spray them, you know, after you clean them, and also you have to carry that, you know, oil thing in your trunk, and but also it can mess up with the mass airflow sensor, right? So I think it's always better to use the dry washable filters. All right, so now that we warmed up, let's get going, and we're gonna switch the position of the camera. on the freeway when I was accelerating, I didn't even push into the floor. It was, I don't know, maybe one third of the throttle. I love this car. Yeah, so the cold air intake goes on next week, and I was thinking what to do with the exhaust. Actually, it sounds pretty good when it's cold, but when it's warmed up, it's a bit too quiet for my taste. But on my previous vehicles, I was changing the entire exhaust system. But for this car, it costs about, there's 2 packages from Flowmaster. And one is $1,000 US and the other one is $1,400. And I'm not sure I want to spend that much money right off the bat, because I'm still less than, you know, just over 100 miles on this car. And so instead I ordered just 2 mufflers. And so we're gonna take off the resonators and keep the standard piping and replace the mufflers with these new ones I'm getting. But the inlet and the outlet on these new mufflers, I don't know, I decided to go crazy. It's a Flowmaster Pro series. Basically they're round, no packing inside. I'm just going to the Boston Pizza for some lunch. So there's no packing inside. There's this new style mufflers, which gives you kind of like a racing muffler, except they lower your decibels by about 10 or 12 decibels. So it's pretty quiet, but you get full performance. You don't lose anything in terms of performance. But I decided, since, you know, the Flowmaster page there about racing mufflers, they say that the tubing for up to 500 horsepower is recommended 3 inches, right? But if you want to go higher, they recommend 3.5, right? And so you see this, I like this screen, very big, you can see everything. And so I got the Pro series Flowmaster, 2 of them, and the inlet is 3.5 inches and the outlet is 3.5. And so we're gonna try to upgrade the exhaust. And of course I will have to modify. So, but right now, let me see if we can see anything in there, because the guy is pretty low. But from the factory, it already has the X pipe. You know, there's the X pipe.
And those are, I guess those are the cats. And there's should be the X pipe, should be somewhere there. And it has a true dual exhaust. Oh yeah, that's where the mufflers are. That's where the mufflers are. So we're gonna cut them out. And we're gonna replace them with the Flowmaster. Actually, we're gonna increase the piping to accommodate these. Yeah, and these are the resonators, you see. So I'm just gonna, but I don't know how to. If I cut them off, see, it's so close in here. I think this is all part of the resonator. But I think what I want to do is I'm gonna take off those ones. I want to take off these mufflers over there. Oh, and there's I know right where that hanger is, there's a sensor. There's a sensor over there that you're not supposed to touch, because that's your active exhaust. And a lot of people were saying that if you remove that, you're gonna start getting the, you know, alert on the dash. But I need to find where it is exactly. It's either there, I know it plugs in there, and maybe I'll just remove those mufflers over there. But the ones I'm getting, they're only 12 inches long. These Pro Series Flowmasters, they're just 1 foot, so they can actually fit in here, you know. And then we'll just cut off the pipe over here and make it, I think it's probably, well, it looks like 3 inch, maybe slightly less. So basically I'll ask him to increase the diameter to 3.5 and then put the Flowmaster in here and remove those ones. And this way I don't have to mess with that sensor over there. I think yeah, that's what we're gonna do. This is gonna be pretty cool. It has some nice shocks in there, and it has Brembos, but smaller type. I might upgrade them later on to those red ones. So those are the plans, and this is the car. 6.4 liter V8, 485 horsepower. Thanks for watching.